Person who broke this story in the beginning and has been on it ever since. Thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.
So questions of bribery aside, why exactly did the Obama administration allow a foreign rival, Russia, to control 20% of American uranium reserves? Nancy Soderberg was an ambassador to the United Nations and Deputy National Security Advisor at the White House under President Clinton, and she joins us tonight. Ambassador, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
So leaving aside the questions of the DOJ investigation, why in the world would Hillary Clinton's State Department and the Obama administration sign off on a deal that allows a rival power to control 20% of our uranium reserves?
Well, these business deals are ones that had review of 9 different agencies, and they agreed that since it was going to stay in the country, that it would be an acceptable way to keep our uranium safe here and under appropriate controls. And I think that the reporter that it's been gone and yellow cake has been really disproven. And Tucker, I really think you're digging at the bottom of the barrel here.
May I stop you there? So you think it was a good idea for the Obama administration to give Russia, our primary adversary in the world, according to the Democrats, control of 20% of our uranium? Why would that be a good idea? I'm sincere. Why is that a good idea?
I'm not familiar with the details of this particular uranium deal, but we have trade in uranium with appropriate controls throughout the last 40 years, bipartisan. Both Republican and Democrat governments feel that we can keep the appropriate controls. And the bigger issue here is this whole issue is fake news in terms of an investigation. It's been shut. In fact, all President Trump has to do is ask his current Deputy Attorney General and Deputy Head of the FBI, who looked at this and closed it in 2015. So this is fake news trying to divert from what is the issue.
But I'm actually not engaging in fake. Okay, that you may have that view, but I'm not engaging in that. I'm asking you about the policies.
But why are we talking about something that happened almost 10 years ago?
I'll tell you. Actually, I can answer. Wait, hold on. This isn't what stopped. It didn't happen almost 10 years ago.
Invading in our own democracy here. Okay. We should be talking about that.
If we are as concerned about Russia as you say we should be, as you just said we ought to be, then why wouldn't we be concerned about the fact that, according to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, reported in the New York Times, some large percentage of this uranium in the form of yellow cake has been exported to unknown countries? What countries do you think those are? Switzerland?
I have no idea. And
okay, but why? Wait, but hold on. Why isn't that?
I'm not in the government right now, so I'm not looking at
hold on. But you have no problem.
Piece of this.
Okay, but hold on. You've got no problem saying they hacked our democracy. Why aren't you concerned about that? You blow past it like it's.
Look, I think what I'm more concerned about right now, I'm concerned about any breach of our national security. And if there's a problem here, we need to investigate it and look at it. And that's what both presidents, Democrat and Republican, do. What I'm more concerned about is the invasion of our democracy by that very power you're trying to go back 10 years ago. What did the Russians do in our investigation right now, and why are
But it's not 10 years ago. We're not talking about Facebook ads. We're talking.
What I want to know, and what your show should be talking about,
is filibustering. Actually, an important point.
Why are the Republicans in this Congress trying to cut off the investigation of Russia's role in our democracy? That's real news.
But by the way, I'm not. You know what? I'll grant you that point. I don't care. I want to talk about the fact that uranium is being mined in the American West and is controlled by the Russian government, the very one that you say poses a threat to our democracy. Why shouldn't every American sit bolt upright and say, what? How the hell did they get control of that? No, I'm serious. It's not 10 years ago. It's right now. It's happening right now.
Well, first of all, I don't think they control the uranium. It's under very tight controls. It's under very security controls.
But it's not
My understanding is they own some. They own
the U.S. government.
They own some of the company that owns it. And if it's a problem, then we need to have the president look into that. He's in charge right now, and President Trump should look into it.
Would you have signed off on that deal? Honestly, knowing what you know about Russia, you don't think it's just prima facie insane to give a country that seeks our destruction control of our uranium supply?
This is a deal that was almost 10 years ago. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about the deal.
That's not true.
It was 2010.
Okay.
It's almost 2018.
But it is ongoing to this day.
I think, look,
and Bill Clinton brokered it. You don't think?
We have
No, but that's not
very
speculation.
strong-
That's a fact.
All of us take very seriously the control of uranium, plutonium,
seem
and
to.
our stockpiles. Oh, absolutely, I do.
Oh,
And I've
really?
been
Then
in
why are you
meetings where
blowing
we
past
do
my
it.
questions, which are
Because
real?
I've said several times, these types of deals, and I'm not familiar with this particular one, have very, very tight controls. They're reviewed by 9 agencies.
But you are factually wrong in this case because we don't know where the yellow cake is going. That's been reported by the New York Times. It's not something I'm making up in right-wing land. That's a real thing. So why aren't you upset about it?
Because I haven't seen that report, and from what I know, these have very tight controls on them. And if there's a problem, then the Trump administration needs to immediately look at it.
I agree.
What I'm concerned about is Congress doing Russia's bidding by trying to stop the investigation of Russia's collusion in our elections.
But this is
Why
silly.
are we doing
They're not.
that?
We have an independent council investigation that's proceeding at pace that has unlimited. But they can't stop it.
Why are the Republicans in Congress trying to do Russia's bidding and stop the investigation?
I'm a little surprised that you are resorting to political bumper stickers and talking points, and I'm asking you about a policy that affects our national security.
That's a real issue right now. No, you're trying to dig back in history to deflect
from what's going on.
Digging back in history,
it's ongoing. It's happening right now.
And what's happening right now?
You're the former ambassador. Why am I the policy person in this conversation? I don't care what the Republicans do.
I've said we need to address the security of this deal that was almost 10 years old, and we will. And the President of the United States has the power to do that. What I'm concerned about is what's happening today in Russia's interference in our elections.
This is happening today. They have control right now.
And why are the Republicans in Congress trying to cut that?
Whatever. They have no control. It's an independent counsel investigation. They can't stop it.
They're trying to cut the funding off of that investigation.
So you're worried about Facebook ads, and I'm worried about the dissemination of yellow cake. I'll let our viewers decide which is more important.
The American people need to know what happened in our election.
Right, okay.
And that's the bottom line.
All right, Ambassador, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.